Hey guys, first of all, this is my part 2 video. First of all, I just want to say thank you so much for all the love that you have showed me on Instagram and YouTube. Just thank you so much for just encouraging me and just sending me love. I appreciate from the bottom of my heart. I got this vision. God gave me this vision a couple months ago, and I just, was so nervous to do it because it's like definitely out of my comfort zone. Because I talk to myself all the time, like it's easy peasy. Talk to myself, talk to God, but talking to this like audience, it's different. Like it's different. Like putting on YouTube and even sharing it on Facebook, that was just kind of like, I got all right, Jesus, you want me to do this? Okay, I can't be disobedient. I want to be able to, share and encourage others with my stories. I'm just sharing. Sharing. I'm just thankful though that people are encouraged by this. Already I've gotten several messages, people saying, I'm encouraged, like we have similar stories, and I'm just like, wow, this is just one video that I just practiced. The past one was just one video. Just a practice one, run, my hair all over my head, didn't even comb it, apologize for that. But today it's all, nice and neat. But yeah, I just, like I said, out of my comfort zone, but I'm gonna do this because I realize that I can encourage people through my own story, and just like other people can do that same thing, so you can pass it along, like whatever. I'm just passing things along. It's supposed to be called Pass Along Some Joy because my middle name is Joy, Joi. And just wanted to pass along life lessons that I've learned throughout my 23 years of life, and just sharing it with you all. So yeah, so this is part 2, like I said, for rejections and setbacks from last year. Last year was a lot. Last year was a lot, but overall, like, yeah, I'll get into the overall part later. Okay. dot. Okay. So last year, 2018, was a year of setbacks. A year of setbacks and some rejections, but mainly setbacks. So I have 3 different stories. 2 are similar. One is totally different, but it was still a setback. So yeah. Well, maybe 4 different stories. We'll see how it goes. I don't want to go too long, but yeah. So yeah, I started out, okay, so back in January, sorry, my mind got a lot of stuff in the noggin, so bear with me, sorry. So back in January of 2018, I applied for a job back in my hometown in Kansas City, Missouri. Now, I usually do this every year. Like, I apply for jobs for the summertime around January or February, so that way I can have it already set up. I don't have to like worry about going back home and finding a job. I can already have it, set up and ready to go, and I can just start, And I've been doing that since I was 16 years old. Well, no, I had the same job for a long time, but still, I would like set it up and make sure that, I was ready to go to start. So anyway, so back in January of 2018, I applied for a job. Like I said, it's called the Jewish Community Center, and I applied for a childcare position. It was similar to childcare. It wasn't exactly childcare, but it was similar to childcare. And so I, like I said, I applied for it because I wanted to just continue to get involved with children, have more experience with children, because I wanted to be a social worker. Excuse me. And so I was like, hey, might as well just, do something small, start out small, so that way I can work myself up, and then, yeah, so I did that. got in contact with the lady that was in charge of the hiring position, and she was telling me, or asking me, like, when am I going to be available to do an interview. And I told her that I was in school still, and I graduate that upcoming May, and that I'll be back in town like May 7th, May 8th, around that time. And I can do an interview then, or I can do a phone call interview or a Skype interview. And she was telling me, well, you can wait until when you come back, and that way I can see you, all those things. And I was like, okay, yeah, it makes sense. So I did that. Had her set up an interview for me when I came back. But she was like, in the meantime, just make sure you stay in contact, with us, making sure that you're still, so that way we can know that you're still interested. And I was like, okay, that's great. So I did that. I kept in contact from January up until April, or even May, actually. I kept in contact. When April came around, I got, I emailed her and said, hey, I'll be back in a month, letting you know I'm still interested in this job, in this position, and I want to still do this. And she was like, okay, well, actually, I won't be there after a couple weeks. I'm actually going to go to a different job, but I do have someone else who's going to be covering this whole hiring position for you in your interview. So no worries on that. Just I'll send over your information to her, and you guys can set up through that way. And I was like, okay, great. And so I took matters first, knowing myself. I went ahead and emailed her. She gave me her information. So I went and emailed the other lady and told her, hey, I'll be back in town May 7th, May 8th. And just letting you know, like, this lady told me that you were going to be in charge now, and like just kind of just telling her about myself and what happened and stuff. So, but I didn't get a response. I didn't get a response from her, and I was just like, that's weird. Like, I'm thinking, she's supposed to respond to me, but she didn't respond at all. So I was like, kind of just sitting there like, okay, so maybe I should just go back and email the first lady that was taking over for me. I emailed her, got in contact with her, but no response from her either. And so I was like, is this some type of ghosting or something? Like, I kind of felt weird about that. I was like, okay, like, how come no one's answering me? So I kind of was playing like back and forth with, not playing back and forth with them, but just kind of emailing them back and forth, like, hey, like, I'm about to come back home soon, like, hey, but still no response. This took like, I don't know, like, within a month. This happened within a month, from April, first week of April to like right before I graduated. Like a couple days before I graduated, like I've been emailing them. Like, I still got all those emails on my email thing. It's kind of funny, but anyways, but yeah, because I was like, I'm ready for a job. I usually do this every year, so I'm like, okay, I should be able to get a job and stuff, have a job set up for myself. But it turned out that it didn't go through for me, so I was like kind of disappointed. Actually, not kind of, I was disappointed. Yeah, I could have gotten another job, but at that rate, or at that point, it was kind of too late. It was kind of, I felt like it was too late, because like usually people hire summer seasonal people like April, May, before the summer starts, right? And so I'm like, well, I don't know anyone else who's going to hire me part-time for a seasonal position. And so I just kind of let it alone, and just kind of, that year was like all about just, anyway, actually I don't want to spoil that, because I'm going to keep going. Okay, I'm going to keep going. Sorry. Keep going. So yeah, like I was very disappointed. I was like, shoot, like I really wanted to get that job. It seemed like a really cool job. I've been there before. I played basketball there before, actually, and like I knew that facility pretty well, I think, because we've been there a lot of times playing basketball. But anyways, I felt disappointed, so I was just like, you know what, I'm not gonna even have a job, maybe not have a job this summer, or just take it easy, because I did just graduate. I did have a lot of, things I had to do, previously. So I'm like, maybe I just need to rest. So, but knowing myself, I'm like, I need a job. So another story is similar to this past one I just talked about. This one, I go to a church called Renaissance United Methodist Church back in my hometown in Kansas City, and every year they have what is called I forgot exactly what it's called, but you serve like kids or families in the community throughout the summertime, because sometimes kids don't have enough food during the summertime while they're out of school, so they come to church or they go to school, summer schools, to get food and all those things, for not just for the kids, but just for everyone that needs it, but mostly for the kids mainly. And so my pastor actually had emailed my mom and so many other women in our church, and asking for someone to help out with serving the community at our church. And so this is at different churches, not just my church, but they were looking for someone for our church. And so he, like I said, text message everyone, and my mom was like, Aubrey, hey, like, pastor is looking for, someone to help out serving. And I was like, okay, yeah, I want to do it. That'd be great. That'd be a great opportunity just to serve people, and, just to do that out of kindness, not, being humble for people, not trying to like be, bashful or anything like that, but just doing it out of kindness of my heart. And not just for the money either. So I decided to do it. And so I went to the orientation, and the lady that was in charge of orientation went to her church, and that was like an all-day thing on Saturday. And so I got the information I needed, like how to like keep the food cold, when to keep the food, or when to take the food out of the refrigerator, when to take off the food from the sternos and everything, like just basically temperature wise, knowing how to keep things cold and hot food. And also, like, with the materials that we had like a thermometer and some other things, and just knowing how to use those, and like how to serve, what the portion sizes that we needed, like what to serve, what not to serve, because people are like, gluten-free, vegan, stuff like that. So I learned all that information. That was all day long too. And I got paid for that. But I wasn't, like I said, I was there for a job, but really I'm like, what, this is a good opportunity just to serve people. So anyway, I did that, got the information, and we started, I want to say, the first week of June, because usually kids get out pretty late in Kansas City, especially because it snows. It snows a lot in Kansas City, in the Midwest. Yeah. We get all 4 seasons. 4. But anyways, so yeah, we started the first week of June. And so yeah, I got all the things, and like so they were delivering food from the church that I had the orientation from, or at, excuse me. And so they were delivering from that church, and they said they gave the food, excuse me, all to me, and I set it up and everything. And like the first day, no kids, no families, nobody, just me. Just me. I didn't have any help either. It was just me by myself there. And like, I mean, we had someone there to like open up the church doors for me so I can get in, but other than that, it was just me. And like, nobody came to get food, nothing like that. And I was just like, excuse me, my leg. And I was like, wow, okay, so maybe it's just because it's the first day, kids are still in school, maybe, hopefully. So the second day came around. This is supposed to be 5 days a week, between the hours of like lunchtime, so like 11 to 3. So they had lunchtime, they also had snack time. They can come in for lunch and snack, or they can just come in for lunch or snack. because I didn't have to do breakfast. Breakfast was at a different location. We just did lunch at my church and snack time. So like I said, the next day came around, still no kids, still no one, and I was just kind of getting nervous. I was like, okay, I don't want to waste all this food. Like, so because they gave me a lot of food, like literally, because they didn't know how many people were gonna show up, so they just kind of gave me a lot, and like they were like, okay, good luck. So I was there pretty much from the hours of, like, I had to be there early, like from 8 to set up and stuff like that, and I had to stay until 3 or even after that, because 3 was the start time of snack. So I had to stay until like about 5. And that was all day, every single day I had to do that. Set up, take down by myself. And so, but no one showed up. Like literally no one showed up. And I was starting to kind of get like sad. And I was like, what's going on? Maybe kids are still in school, ? I'm like, at this point, it was about second week of June. I'm like, okay, kids, they have to be out by now. Or if, like, I'm like, this is crazy. Like, I'm wasting all this food, and we need this food, to feed the kids and feed the families. And so I'm like, well, I don't know. I don't want to just throw away this food. So I actually kind of just saved the food for my church, because we usually have what is called a hospitality lounge. Like, we have food. We serve food for people that come in for church Sunday mornings. And so I was like, I'm just going to save that for that. Save the food for that, So that way it won't go to waste, because I didn't want to go to waste. So yeah, and I was just like, I was just getting so disappointed. I really was. I was just like, I was trying not to cry, because I was like, why is this not working out, like, for me to have like a good summer job, just to be able to, not necessarily, like I said, get paid. I mean, that would be nice too, but just like do something so I can so that I won't be like sitting at home and not doing anything. I want to be able to do something, So I got super disappointed. So I told the lady that was in charge of the orientation, I was like, hey, like, we're not getting anybody. Like, we're not getting anybody. No one's coming to Renaissance. No one's coming there. No one showed up the last couple weeks. Nobody has showed up. Like, one time they showed up, but that was for something else. That wasn't even for our thing. That was for something else. But I was like, hey, like, we have free food down here if you want some food. And I just gave that away to those who came for that other event that they had at my church. And that was actually nice, because all that food was gone. But still, like, the next day nobody showed up. The next day after that, and that was a Tuesday that I gave that food away. And I was like, okay, no one's showing up. So I had to tell the lady, like I said, that was in charge. And she was like, well, okay, well, let's try this way. Let's have you go to them. And my mom was like, because this is kind of like a rough area, but in Kansas City, mom was like, no, I don't want you to go over there and try to serve them in their and the hot and the heat and like in that environment, because it's kind of rough, And I was like, well, I mean, yeah, I understand, but I'm just like trying to give this food away. And that's all I was thinking about at that point. I was like, I just want to give this food away so the people can have food, but my mom was like, and even some people from my church, they were like, don't do that. You don't want to stand outside and get a heat stroke. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. But I'm still thinking about them now, because I'm like, all this food is about to go to waste. And I hate when food goes to waste. Like, if you know me, you know that I hate when food goes to waste. Even sometimes I waste my food, but that's bad. But that's like, I get full though. I get really full. Anyways, but I hate, like, even yesterday when I was at my job, sorry, kind of a little tangent, they threw all that food, that chicken away from Welcome Weekend. I'm like, what? Y'all could have, oh my gosh. Y'all could have gave it away to someone else. I mean, I didn't take any food because I'm like, I don't need it, but somebody else does. Man, wasting food. It hurts my heart. Anyway, tangent is over. Sorry. So, yeah, and I was just like, shoot, like, all this food's going to waste. Like, I'm going to have to just go into their community and just to, I'm going to have to. But they were like, well, we don't really know how that's going to work. And at that time, I actually had to go out of town anyway. I was going out of town to do a trip to learn about my history, Black history and stuff. And that was like June 18th till like, that was for a week, June 18th through June 24th. So I told them that I was leaving for 6 days, about a week, and I'll be back, to see if we can try to do something else with this whole serving thing. So they were like, okay, well, we'll just shut you down for a week, and then like when you come back, we'll set it up again. So I was like, okay, great. And I was like, hopefully by then people will come, So after that trip, I came back and still no one showed up. Literally like that day. And I was like, or that week, that next day I came back on a Sunday, and that Monday I was like, no one showed up at all. Excuse me, I'm sorry. And I was just, at that point, I just got really frustrated. I'm like, what happened? Like, why aren't people coming and getting food? And so I was like, I was getting super frustrated. And I think it was just mainly because my church, they don't really advertise extremely well. Like at that time, they advertised a little bit more, but now, but then I was just kind of like, maybe, not people don't know because it wasn't really advertised that well. Like, I mean, they do it through Instagram, social media, but not necessarily passing out flyers or stuff like that. And that's what hurt us. That's why no one showed up. And plus we had competition too, I would say, because like other schools were doing it around us and other churches. So we had a lot of competition. And so people were probably going to schools or other churches nearer to them rather than our church. And I'm like, well, that makes sense too. But still, like, the advertisement wasn't good enough. The communication wasn't good enough. And so I actually took matters in my own hands again. Like I did with the first one, the first story on here. I actually went ahead and just went to the community, passed out flyers, like to different homes, cars, like just in one whole block. That whole block was long too. Like I was like, I can't do every single house, but I'm just gonna do this whole entire block, both sides. And that's what I did. I just passed out flyers, and hopefully I was hoping for the best, but not even one person from that showed up. So I was like, well, maybe advertisement is not good enough. Flyers are not good enough. Maybe we just need to like do something else. I didn't know what to do. So I just kind of gave up at that point, because it was like already at the end of June by that time, about to be July. And I'm like, I mean, there's no way kids were in school then. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to have to tell the lady that was in charge that it wasn't good. It wasn't successful. So we just canceled the whole thing, and like all that food, man, wasted. My heart still was like thinking about that because it was so bad. It was just a lot of food. We wasted a lot of food. I mean, we gave food away, of course, some food, but for the most part, we wasted a lot of food. And I was just like, wow. So we canceled that whole thing, and that was it. Like I have a job after that, and I was just like, you know what? That's fine. Actually, even during that time, another setback actually happened. So it was like bam, 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 literally back to back to back. I was like, all right, God, I feel tested. I feel tested. Oh my gosh, it was a lot of tears that year, 2018. So again, this is 2018. So another setback that happened within the church whole serving thing. This was on June 8th. It was a Friday. And so I was looking for a home for the next school year, for graduate school, this last year, to stay at. And because I had one set up for myself, but that didn't really follow through because it was too expensive for me. So I was like, okay, I can't afford that. So I decided to look up some other places to stay under APU housing, and I found one. I'm actually here today. I'm telling you, God is just too real. Anyways, found one. I'm here today, but so I called the lady, and her name is Georgia. She's sweet, super sweet. Anyways, and so so I set that up, got a hold of her, and I was like, thank you, God, because it was kind of a last minute thing. I'm like, I need a house, because it was June, right? And I needed a house by I needed a place to stay by August because that's when school started. So I'm like, kind of panicking. And so, like I said, I got that set up for myself. Just had to pay $100 deposit to save my spot, hold my spot. So I did that. And this was on Friday, June 8th. I did all of that June 8th. Well, actually, no. I was about to, I had got everything set up June 8th. And I was going to go, after I left from my church, I was going to go to the bank and do all that, send the deposit to her and all that stuff. But that morning, before I did all that, before that even happened, my car, like I was going to church, going to my job, and my car started sounding weird. Like it was like this weird, like crazy, it was like a loud, crazy sound. I was just like, okay, I don't know what this is, but maybe it'll go away, question mark. So I drove it to church, and like I was fine and nothing happened. But like I said, I got there, got everything set up, and then I actually kind of forgot my car was making that noise until I left the church to go to the bank and everything. And so it like I said, when I started it up, the sound happened again. It started to sound again, and it was super, super loud again. And I was just like, what is that? I didn't know what it was. I thought it was something with my engine or something like that, but I didn't know what it was. It wasn't that. It was something else. So I drove it back to, like I said, where I was going to, the bank. And it took me, like, I was doing well. I was going to where I needed to go, and I was doing well. And so I got to a red light, and it turned green, and then I turned. So this was going to, I was going to a different direction. So I think I was going east. Yeah, I was going east, and I was turning east. And so I had my car, like I said, was making this weird noise, and it like all of a sudden stopped, but I was able to pull over. It stopped, but I was able to pull over and get into the side, the curb side, so that way I wouldn't be in, well, I kind of would be in traffic's way, because like people like kind of slow and realize, oh, this car stopped, so I gotta go around. So but I still was able to pull over, put on my hazard lights. Now my hazard lights were on, and just was like, okay, I couldn't go because my car just, it completely stopped on me, like stopped. I couldn't go, couldn't like reverse, do nothing. So I had to like I had to just sit there and call, I had to call AAA company. So, and I called my dad too. But I didn't even get a chance to do those things, because 2 seconds later, bam, got into a car accident. Literally after I pulled over, put my hazard lights on, all of that within 2 seconds, I got hit from behind. And that accident was not, it wasn't pretty. It was not pretty at all. It was ugly. Like I could have instantly, I don't want to say this, but I could have died in that accident. It was that bad. Like I have so many pictures of like how bad it was. Woo! Saved by grace. Thank you, Jesus. Man, yeah, I'm like about to tear up. Oh gosh, I didn't want to tear up. No, okay, no, stop it. Oh my gosh, man, that day, it was happy. I was going through it. That whole year was just a lot. From graduation, feeling happy, and then 2 jobs going through, and then a car accident. Oh gosh, it was a lot for me. It was. I mean, people have gone through much worse and stuff, but it was just a lot of being overwhelmed and like stressed and like anyway. So yeah, I got into a car accident, and whew, man, I was just so thankful I walked away from that, because it was ugly. It was not pretty. But the guy was very gracious. He was very nice. He was like, it's gonna be okay. I'm over it crying, because I'm like, I could have died, because like literally liquids and stuff were coming out of my car. I was just like, gosh, like my fluid stuff was coming out of my car. Like, oh man, it was just a lot that happened. Busted tail light, bursted tail light, whatever it's called, and like my whole trunk was like shattered. Like it was like my whole door couldn't even close. I was just like, whoo, crazy. It was just, I have pictures. If you guys want to see some pictures, I got some pictures. But man, it was sad. And I was just like, oh my gosh. Like, I mean, I could care less about my car. Like, it's a car, it's a material thing. But I was just so like, I was already feeling overwhelmed and stressed that week because I was looking for a place to stay, first of all. My job wasn't going well. You know, my first job flopped. The second job, it was not going so well. And like, all of a sudden, car crash. I was just like, I can't take it. And I just felt super overwhelmed. I just needed to cry. I was like, Jesus, I need to cry. But God, like I said, the guy was like very gracious and very nice to me and handled things maturely like I did. Because I wasn't really, I was just like, why? But anyway, all I have to say was that year was a lot for me. After that car accident, I just kind of had like a temper tantrum. I was like, I need a car. I was like, I need to stop acting like I'm a baby. I'm not a baby. Like, I'm not a baby at all. Like, I need to just grow up and take on adult things. Things happen like that. Like, people get in car accidents all the time. And like, you know, I'm just thankful, like, just to be able to walk away from that. I'm thankful I still have my life, because it could have ended that day, June 8th, 2018. I remember it. June 8th, 2018, at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I remember that day from the morning till as soon as I got in a car accident. I remember everything. And literally, I want to say life flashed before my eyes when I was in that car accident. Like, I literally saw everything. Like, time I was born. So, like, it was crazy. Like, I was like, what is going on? Like, I'm like, is this it? Like, for real. I literally saw everything. Like, literally like, life flashed right before my eyes. Like, literally every single situation, like, within seconds, like, boom, 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 right in front of my face. And I was just like, okay, God, I guess this is it. Because I'm like, but man, I walked away from that. I had back pain. I had whiplash on my neck. And like, I had like bruises a little bit here and there, but other than that, I was able to walk away from that. I was able to walk away, because I could have had my legs smashed, everything. But God, but God, that's all I have to say. But God. Wow. Yeah. Whew. So yeah, I had to get chiropractor and stuff like that for weeks, and like, just to get my back kind of adjusted, and my neck. I had to go to the, not emergency room, but urgent care, to see my neck and get my neck x-rayed and everything, and see what's going on. And like, it was a lot, but I was like, you know what, I'm just thankful I walked away. Even if I had to get like a neck thing or something, like, I didn't have to, thank God. It was just like a whiplash, but it hurt. Ooh, I tell you, man, that pain was some serious stuff. Like, that next day, I didn't feel pain when I walked away from it, but that next day, I felt some pain. I mean, like I said, I felt it a little bit that day, but the next day, I could barely like lay down. I could barely like get up, because it was just like there. Pain. I want to say some pain. It was hurting, and that lasted for a long time. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't lay down. I had to like do like this, slowly go down. I had to like slowly come up. I had to like, I couldn't even move like I could move now. Thank God I can move. Look at me now. Bam, 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 bam. But I couldn't do it then. I had to like take my time to lay down. It was hard. It was rough. But whew. Anyway, but God. But overall, I just want to say, like, that year was all about resting. I learned that year was all about resting for me. Like, God wanted me to rest. God wanted me to just take time with Him, take time with myself, and just learn more and grow more with Him, and learn more about Him, and just build my relationship. Because that year before, 2017, it was a desperate time for me with relationships, and I just, I was like, I just want to be in a relationship so badly, and I just want God send me one now type of thing. All kinds of stuff happened in 2017 too, like just being desperate and like not really fulfilling my call with God and everything. Like that next year, God wanted me to just rest. I took the time to just learn more about myself, go to different places. Before that car accident, I went to that first couple weeks after I graduated. I went to different places just to feel peace and just be on my own for a little bit, just kind of do things on my own, and like take time for myself. And like I said, wanting to have those jobs, even though those two jobs flopped, and like get into the car accident, like it helped me a lot. It helped me a lot. Man, and I'm just so thankful that I'm thankful to God that he was there, even though those two jobs flopped and I got in a car accident. He was there in the midst of those things. And I was just like, God, okay, that's all I need to do was just rest this year, rest that year, rest in you, rest in myself, like just be at peace, and just take it all in one day at a time, and not always having to have a job at hand, or be in a rush, or be in a hurry, or have everything ready to go, just taking things step by step. That's what I learned that year, taking things step by step, just growing in God spiritually, connecting with God in prayer and in scripture. And that's exactly what I did after that car accident. Like that's all I did, was just connecting with God in prayer and in solitude, and like listening to him, not just talking to him, but listening to him, and everything. And like I want to say that year it was crazy from the start. But it turned out to be really, really beautiful, because I was able to rest, and I didn't have a job. I didn't have a car. I did get a new car, and I have it now. I got a car like at the end of July, and I was about to go back to school too. And I was like, God is always on time, man. I'm telling you. Because I really did need a car, because I was like, I need to go to internship placement and stuff like that for that year. And I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna get there. I don't want to have to ask people. I don't like asking people. I don't want to have to carpool, because I've been doing that for 4 years in undergrad. Or but I'm like, what, if I had to do that, I had to do that. Like, that's okay. Like, I can save money. I can save some money, but yeah, God is just awesome, guys. Like, when God is trying to talk to you, listen to him. Please listen to him. When God's saying, hey, like, I'm here, I want to talk to you. I want you to be at peace with me. I want you to rest in me. Listen to him. Take the time to just talk to God and listen to God. And not be in so much a hurry with life, because like I'm always like trying to like make sure everything is like set in stone with me, set up with me. And sometimes that's not always the good thing. I mean, it is a good thing, but it's not always when when God's trying to talk to you and trying to get a hold of your life and say, hey, come to me, talk to me first, make sure that, it's in my will, not your way, in my way. Excuse me. So I'm like, man, God, you right. You are absolutely right. This is like 40 minutes long. I'm sorry, but I told you, a lot has happened. I had to think about everything, and just replaying that in my mind again, it just made me realize that God is so good, and he was so patient with me last year. He's always patient with me every year, every day. But last year was just like, because I was wanting to do everything my way, or the highway, and not God's way. And so do everything his way. Go to him first, talk to him, listen to him. And man, I'm telling you, it'll work out. It'll work out. It may not work out, when you want it to, but he's always on time, man. He's always on time. Like, he is an awesome God. He is so great. He's so merciful. He's so gracious. And he's forgiving. He's so forgiving. Oh my gosh, you don't even realize how much he has forgiven me, my heart, my spirit, everything over the years. And not saying I was like a bad person, but just, but I'm not a good person either. I'm not perfect. I have messed up before, but God is so big and so wonderful and so gracious, and he's beautiful. And so all I have to say is just rest in him, and don't be so much in a hurry with trying to get your life together. And like, if you're stuck in something at the moment, or if you want something to go your way, it's not going your way, just come to him. Go to him and just talk to him. He will listen. He listens to us anyway. He knows what we're going to think about, like I said, before we think it. So just know that he's always there. He's always listening. He will never leave you nor forsake you. Love that promise. That's one of my favorite promises of God. And so, yeah, be there for him just as much as he's there for you. So, anyway, all that to say is that rest in God, be at peace, love him just as much as he loves you, because he loves us unconditionally, man. Like, I can't even fathom that much love, but I definitely understand it from the times I've been silly. But anyways, this is 40 minutes. 40 minutes. But thank you guys again for listening to me and allow me to share my stories, because God has been so wonderful, gracious, and I keep saying those words, but they're so true. They're so true. Thank you, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Sorry, this is way too long. 40 minutes. Woo, gosh. I'm hoping to have more coming up, just about feeling lonely at times, when I was in high school and going through a lot, and all coming here in APU and finding friendships and stuff like that. So I want to share with you next. So that won't be in probably until next week, maybe sooner. We'll see. I'm actually really liking these. They're kind of getting out of my comfort zone. But anyway, all right. So be at peace with God. God loves you. God bless you. Thanks.